Hello and welcome back to Satisfactory Outpost in the desert. We're still in the limestone outpost. We've got concrete being made below. And in the break between the episodes, I just finished setting up this really basic assembly of 8 assemblers that will produce the encased industrial beams using the standard recipe with steel beams. For some reason, in this case, the alternate recipe actually produces um, like 33% less parts per minute. So not great if you're concerned with output. Same number of concrete, slightly less steel because it's using steel pipes instead of steel beams, but it produces 4 per minute instead of the 6 parts per minute you get from the standard recipe. So we're going to go with the standard recipe. We've got the steel beams to spare. They're really only used for one of the space elevator parts, maybe the frameworks. So we've got the supply to use. Um, we're feeding concrete up from the floor below, but we don't have any pipes here. For the pipes, we need to get a train delivery from our steel factory to the southwest, right over there. We've got the station set up. For the most part, let's get these belts running to the freight stations. See, this is going to be the steel. So this is going to come from the train and unload the steel beams, and then we're going to belt that down to the floor below us. Okay, that's the steel, or the belt for the steel beams. This is looks like concrete from the first floor. This is just being shipped or belted and then transported to our depot, our storage depot. We'll need concrete for heavy modular frames. Let's try to line this up. Oh. It's centered, but we actually move over two so that we get that nice right angle on the turn for the belt. This is concrete. We can just put that right here. It's an autosave. Sorry for the hitch. There we go. And then this will be, if you can see below, through the glass, this is the output for the assemblers. This is going to be the encased industrial beams. So, perfect. That worked out really nicely. There we go. Just gonna clip. Nope, no clipping. Good. So those will go right here. And this is going to be the same train. That's currently running components from the iron outpost to the supply depot. Remember, we're only using the first 4 freight cars on that train that has 8 total freight cars. So it will, it can start at the iron outpost, pick up the iron components, drop them off at the supply depot, and then it will come here to the limestone outpost. And well, I really should have had this this platform facing the other direction. That would have made more sense. But we'll see how this goes. I think what's going to need to happen is we're going to have to take all of these components. Yeah. Okay. So we'll need to use 2 trains. That's fine. We can make this work. Okay. Let's make sure that this rail is connected. We're gonna have to go back and collect our train. I've got most of the rail lined up. We're just gonna make a few connections here. Railway. Let's put it on our hotbar. So this is actually, almost fell off there. This is the copper outpost. We're just using a part of the roof here for this rail. We've got plenty of room for a train to actually collect components from the copper warehouse. Although now that I'm looking, like having this rail here, it's going to be, a little bit of an issue, but we can make that work for sure. We can make it work. I have it split off there to eventually, build the train station for the copper outpost when we reach that point. We are not there yet. We'll need cable for computers in the electronics outpost. Haven't built that yet. I don't know of any great need for... the wire will be used in the motor outpost once that's rebuilt. Copper sheets. The default recipe for circuit boards uses copper sheets, but I don't think that the alternate recipe that we're going to be using does. Let's check that out as we run. No. Circuit boards. We're going to be using the Caterium recipe. Yeah, it's Caterium in plastic, or quick wire in plastic rather. So for copper sheets, we may just be storing those at the depot to use for constructing hypertubes and fluid pipes. When I was setting up this storage depot and determining how things would be moved around, what I did was I made a list of every component in the game that I'm going to automate. Okay, and then I gave them one of 3 classifications depending on what their use was, like how they were used, how many other components they were subcomponents for. If they were only used by one other component, then they're going to be shipped directly from one outpost to the outpost where they're required. If they're used commonly for building, like buildings you're going to make a lot of, like anything in the production category here, or like power poles, or just foundations and walls, things of that nature, I gave that a D classification, meaning we would want them at least stored in the depot for easy central access. Okay, let's see if we can. This is the receiving A train. I don't know why it's not moving right now. Oh. So if a component was needed for only one item, but I'd also want to store it, then instead of having it go from outpost to outpost, I would just have it go to the depot. Anything that we'd want to use commonly, it's going to be stored in the depot. Like there's not a component that you need iron rods to automate for. You know, they're not used for anything that we're making, but because you need iron rods for electric poles, for conveyor poles, you know, you want them in a location where you can just grab them readily. So we're shipping the iron rods to the depot. And then if it's an item that is needed for 2 or more other automated components, but you don't really need a store in the depot to use, you know, for buildings, then they're also being stored in the depot. And then from the depot, they'll be shipped to the various outposts that they're needed for. Let's see if we can alter this timetable now. Yes, limestone outpost. Okay. I'm pretty sure at this point, yeah, for the most part, our first 4 cars are full. I don't know why we only see 3 rail cars. Did I only build 3 rail cars? Like, am I crazy? Where are the other 5? What happened? Okay, they're there. Just can't see them, I think. Let's get out really quickly and just check on that. Yeah, there's only 3. Oh, no, there are no freight cars. Like, we should have 8 freight cars on this train. That's a pretty big oversight. Maybe I deconstructed them accidentally at some point? Because I'm pretty sure that, we need to turn autopilot off here. Just take a look at this train. Did we get it? Okay, good. Yeah, we're gonna need all of those freight cars. Let's see if we have the materials on us to make 5 more freight cars. No. Okay, that's not great. I've got some heavy modular frames stored in the outpost where we will be making heavy modular frames, but it's not a ton. But I'll go and grab what we need. Because the heavy modular frames, they don't need any, like we're not doing any smelting there. It's all components delivered by train. I could have put the outpost anywhere. That's why I decided to put it out on this side. You can see that I haven't quite finished constructing all the pillars. I need to get some more concrete and finish that later, but for now, let's just grab these. Oh, that's not what I wanted. I wanted, let's put these back. And then see what I need for 5 freight cars. Okay, just 20 frames. Good. I know I'm not crazy. I put those freight cars down originally. I think I just must have deconstructed them at some point accidentally using mass deconstruct. Because the components that they delivered, I mean, they've already accumulated in the industrial storage containers over here. because there are only 3 freight cars there, but we definitely have... Oh, I am crazy. I never put down the 4th freight car. Or the 5th through 8. My bad. Okay. Why am I getting an invalid aim location here? Let's try backing this train up. Or, better yet, let's just take it to the limestone outpost and put the freight cars on there, I guess. Okay, traveling to the limestone outpost. On the lower rail this time. Noticed that before, but if you left mouse click, you get a little train horn. Okay. Pulling into the station. Basically, we're just going to be loading up on... Well, we would be loading up on concrete if I had the freight cars placed to load them. Once we dock... Oh, perfect. I don't have the tracks down, so it can't go any farther. Okay. Now, let's grab our freight cars. See, why aren't they clicking? Something is not right with this train. What is in... Okay, see... This freight car... The container is not aligned with the freight car. Okay. What? What is going on? Okay, this is nuts. This is full of iron rods, which should have been the 4th freight car, right? But sometimes when I mouse over this, you see the concrete, right? But the freight container on the car itself is either empty or full of iron rods, depending on what you look. Okay, we need to... There's only one thing to do here, and that's... Oh, look at this. We've got 2 freight cars. I knew there was something messed up. And I knew that I put those freight cars down. Okay. Okay, this is a terrible thing to do. I want to do this, but it's the only option, and it's not like we're hurting for any of these components. We've got 3 industrial storage containers full at the depot. Come on. deleting all these cars here. Yeah. Okay. I'm having to delete it several times because something was clearly messed up. Okay, give me those. No, I'll try to store these in a box. No, let's just delete them. There's no time. There's no time to waste. Yep. Another box there. These we can store, or at least most of them. These have got to go. Okay, so that's an interesting bug. Now hopefully it'll let me... Okay, there we go. So that's the first 4 that are used at the iron outpost. And now... Okay. That's correct. I would like to get that concrete put back on the freight car. Let's see if we can back it up. So we need to turn autopilot off. Okay, we also need to change this anyway. This is not the right. Not the right order. Let's see if we back up. Move forward again. It'll load the concrete. Okay. I overshot it. Okay, the easiest thing to do might just be to back up, hop out of the train. Another autosave. Let's trash all this. Let's put the limestone outpost here. Turn autopilot back on. It should move forward and load the concrete. Definitely wasting some time here because of this bug, but early access, what can you do? Okay, there we go. Loading the concrete. Now we're going to, the next stop is actually going to be steel elf. Oh man, whew. Had the jetpack. That's good. Okay. So the next stop is going to be the steel outpost there. And I'm not sure what it's called. Yeah, I have no idea what it's called. Let's see. Well, we're gonna have to drive it manually. Autopilot's off. Here we go. Actually, you know, I may have not connected that track. Yep. So that's why we can't see the name of the outpost on the list. It's not connected to the network yet. It's fine, we can fix this. Rails connected. Let's come over here and see if we've named this outpost. Yeah, it looks like it says steel outpost. I think, yeah. I've already set up the belts to bring the beams and the pipes up from below. This is a lot of empty platforms, and then this will be freight car number 7 with steel beams. I don't know why it's just started feeding now. That's weird. Oh, I didn't power it. They won't start filling until you power it, and in this case, it's being powered by that rail connection from the rail network. And freight car 8 will be steel pipes. That's why you need to just, you know, keep a mental list or accounting of which cars are filled with which components, because you can see in the concrete outpost there, I've got freight stations for cars 5, 6, and 7. 7 will also be steel beams. 7 is steel beams here. So if I wanted to, I could have had this car delivering steel beams from here to the concrete outpost. I may do that, but now I'm thinking I'll just transfer the steel beams up to the 3rd floor of our storage hub and have a train deliver the steel beams to the a shipping train, not a receiving train, deliver the steel beams to the concrete outpost, and also the you know, everything that's needed for modular frames to the modular frame outpost, the heavy modular frames, which is concrete encased industrial beams, modular frames, and pipes maybe. Yeah, steel pipes. I'm going to use alternate recipe number 1. Alright, train station, timetable. Let's set up actually let's have it load. Next shot stop is going to be the steel outpost. Turn on autopilot. Then it's going to be receiving A, and then the iron outpost, and then receiving A again, and then the limestone outpost, and then the steel outpost. But I think we need to connect a few rails here. This is just going to take us back to the shipping hub. And then once this is connected, this receiving train A will have components in all 8 of its freight cars. that rail is connected, we should see the train start moving. Yep, it's coming, so I need to get off this track. Okay, so the next step is going to be setting up our first shipping train station on the floor above us. You know, I may need to scavenge this train station for now. We're not using it yet. Because I'm out of heavy modular frames, and we're going to need them. So let's take all of these. You know, I wonder, do you actually need empty platforms? Can you just make do with rails? Does that work? I don't know. Haven't tried it. I know I definitely like it, the way it looks better with the empty platforms, so we'll see. But for now, what should be our first step? Let's go up to the 3rd floor. We need to set up our storage containers. Actually, I need to just verify here that. Oh, that's weird. It looks like, I mean, we should have, you know, steel beams and steel pipes, but for some reason they weren't loaded. I wonder if the train stations weren't set up to load. It's gonna be a bummer. Let's quickly run back and check. Really shouldn't be able to run on these electrified monorail tracks, but maybe we have rubber boots or something. Where's our train at? Okay. The train has just hit the iron outpost and is heading back to the storage depot. Okay, yeah, these need to be set to load. Now the train should be leaving the storage depot and heading to the limestone depot, limestone outpost. Let's try to find it on our compass here. Okay, now we're moving. There's the train coming. can see the cars because the storage containers are full for those 4 items. Now we'll pick up more concrete in the limestone factory, the limestone outpost. I'm a little concerned that that freight car bug may have caused some mixing of components in the storage depot. We need to check our containers when we're back, just to make sure that didn't happen. That's going to be pretty critical. And the train's back at its steel outpost. Hopefully this time we see those containers being loaded. There we go. Good. Alright. Heading back to the outpost, this time with steel. Jetpack up to the 3rd floor. Alright. Okay. So let's look at our storage containers here. So as I was saying before, this this 3rd floor, this is 4 items that need to be shipped to other outposts for automation. Now there are some components that we've collected at the storage hub on the 2nd floor that they don't need to be shipped anywhere. Like the iron rods below me here, they don't need to be shipped anywhere. I don't think iron plates are going anywhere either. So we don't need to bring them up to the 3rd floor. We can take those directly up to the roof. But the modular frames here, these are going to be needed for the heavy frames. Also, the concrete. Where is the concrete? We should be able to see the concrete. Okay, concrete's here. Actually, I think all 4 of these, right, will need to be shipped somewhere. The concrete, this group here will be encased industrial frames, or encased industrial beams, sorry. Whenever those are finally automated. The beams are going to the limestone factory to make the encased industrial beams, and then the pipes are going to the heavy modular frame outpost. So let's set up our storage containers. going to use the same double stack system. This time the storage containers are their orientations are alternated from the second floor because the inputs are coming from the wall and not from the train stations. We want to output to the train stations on this floor. Let's see, that's... What is going on here? This is not right. Oh man. Okay, that's fine. Just some minor issue. I just extended the containers the wrong direction. Okay. It's 1, 2, 3. So this will be for the last 4 cars. Why is that? Okay, that's... You know, I guess it doesn't matter. It does. It's gonna bother me. They're just they're not aligned. What happened was the... Yeah, we gotta redo it. The stations that or the storage containers that I deleted were actually the correct ones. Okay, let's fix this quickly. Autosave. Put a few more windows here. It's fine for now. So this is steel beams. This will be steel pipes. And then we also need modular frames. That's all we need for now. We can can do these others later. Kind of lost a lot of time to that train bug. So this is going to the top. What is this one? Pipes? We need a lift there. Logistics. Conveyor lift. This is beams. Oh, this will be encased industrial beams. Don't have any of those yet. And this is concrete. Okay. So this will be our first shipping train. A train taking items from the storage depot to other outposts for consumption. Yeah, I'm gonna need. I put the materials for this train over in the on the roof of the future heavy modular frame building, which was not great planning on my part. Obviously the train would start in the storage depot, not at the outpost. Let's just take all of this. I don't have hypertube set up here. That's on my to-do list. Okay, let's just grab all of this. Okay, should be good enough. Let's go build the train. If you use the crouch slide method, you can build up a lot more momentum, which is helpful when you're using the jetpack. You just maintain that momentum when you're in the air. Okay, so this will be shipping A. This is going to be an interesting train because it's delivering to the limestone factory, the limestone outpost, which we've already connected to our rail network, but it's on the network below. So our upper and lower rails will be connected, which is nice. It gives you more options here. Let's name this station shipping A. Very creative. Now let's get our train down. Same setup as before. We've got 4 locomotives and 8 freight cars. Now, we shouldn't need to change these. These are all... Oh, yeah. These are all set to load the train by default. That's what we want on this floor. On the floor below, they're set to unload. Now we need to name our train. We need to set up some belts. We don't have a lot of time left for the belts, but... This is going to be the shipping A locomotive. It's not powered, but as soon as we connect this rail to the rail below, that shouldn't be an issue. What's the best way to do this? I think we're just going to try to... It looks like right here on the next platform. This is where the lower rail starts making the turn. Is it this platform? Or is there one more? It's kind of hard to tell. No, it's definitely this one. Oh, so you can't see the switch. So what we need to do, let's just see what kind of segments we used here. This looks like a full 2 foundations, and then 1.5, and so 2 foundations and then 1.5. That'll do it. Let me give myself a little bit more to work with. Okay, there's 2. And the next one's just going to be the bare minimum length that we can get away with right there. Take those away. Now let's see if we can do this. If we can merge this rail okay, we're gonna have to change this track a little bit because the curve is too steep, but we can fix that. Just gonna put it down the shortest segments we can. We can fit 2 more here. And then we'll connect this. Actually, can we get fit 3? Let's see. No, I don't think so. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Scary. Now, voila. So now our shipping A platform has access to the rail that travels to the limestone outpost. So if we can just quickly set up the concrete, just the concrete belt. Concrete's here. Okay, so it's entering here, and it's going to do one of these, one of these, and then we should start seeing concrete fill this storage container. Okay, great. So we need this to be 5 tall. 2, 3, 5. And we'll grab this. One of those. It's really nice being able to look through the glass floor and just see where everything is placed exactly. So you don't have to, replan all the distances here. At some point right here, we go up to 8. And then we turn again. Yeah, that's right. Okay, good. See if that's within range here. It is. But this is actually not correct. Right here. Yeah. So those are 8, but then we bring it back down to 4. Okay. So I actually grabbed concrete, but I don't want concrete. I want steel beams. Where are steel beams? Right here. Okay. So this is 5. This will be the 3rd rung. Just take a peek and make sure this has actually got steel beams on it. Okay, good. Okay, now here's where we need to be careful, because we need these steel beams to go into the 7th car. That's critical. This will go up to here. 6th rung. Eight, 7, 6. And now it's going to be on the 2nd. Okay, that'll be fine. That makes sense. So the first rung will go here. Second rung with steel beams will go here. Although actually I think we'll probably just bring this down. We'll bring them all down as before. So the second becomes the first. Okay, loading up steel beams. One more thing to consider is we need this train to return to the receiving station once it's offloaded the steel beams at the limestone facility. So this is going to be a tougher one because actually this could be cool if this is long enough. We just need to a little bit. This is almost the same level. It's a little bit higher. Yeah, there we go. Got an autosave. Episode's running a little bit long. Let's see how far we can get this. Too far? Okay, so we can delete this. Perfect. That was easy. Delete those two. Okay, so this is the line that comes from the steel and limestone factories. Let's just set up the automation and make one quick loop here, and we'll end the episode on that note. And then on the next episode, we are completely ready to set up our heavy modular frame outpost. Okay, so timetable. This is shipping A. The first stop is shipping A. Second stop is the limestone outpost. Yep, I think that's right. Just turn autopilot on. Okay, it's moving forward. We should be loading up on steel beams. So this route, this train's route will be the shipping depot to pick up steel beams, and then the limestone outpost, drop off the steel beams, back to the shipping depot, and then at the shipping depot we'll pick up encased industrial beams, concrete, steel pipes, modular frames, and take them to the modular frame factory. And then we'll just repeat that loop. This is fun. I've never used trains this extensively before. before they've all been like really well. Before I've always played in the mega factory, building mode, where all of your resources are trained or belted to one central location, and you build everything there. I would just train all of the raw resources, the limestone, the iron ore, the oil minerals, etc., all to one location and build out from there. I think that's what most people do. But this outpost style of building, it's a lot more fun with trains. Although I will say it is a lot more work. It's exponentially more time consuming just because of all the, not only all of the planning that's required, which is significant. No, this is an unfortunate thing. This is why we need train signals. It's because of this just crazy train clipping here, just clipping right through the receiving train. But anyway, not just because of all the planning that you need, which is quite a bit more than a mega factory, but just the sheer amount of foundations and walls that you're putting out for all these separate outposts. It's nuts. Okay, so we have. Oh no! Oh no! This is okay. This was not considered. So this train, it loaded up on concrete. We need we need two train outposts here. Oh man, that sucks. that that's not cool. I mean, yeah, for this to work, we're gonna need two train stations. Oh man, that was unexpected. Two train stations on the limestone outpost. Otherwise, the receiving train, which we just wanted to pick up or to drop off our steel beams, at the same time, it also was loaded with concrete. That's something that I had never had to consider before. But yeah, now it's pretty clear that we need two train stations at the limestone outpost, one for shipping and one for receiving. That's okay. I'm pretty sure that all of our outposts have room for multiple train depots. It's just going to be, more resource intensive. And in terms of our train, right now it's not a big deal because fortunately the concrete is in the same car that it would have been anyway if it was loaded up by the storage containers here. So that's not a big issue. It may not be an issue at all. It's just it's not ideal. It's not as clean as I would like. I'd like a logic system where you can choose which items are loaded and unloaded. Maybe in the future. Anyway, we're at 10 minutes over. Thanks for watching. This has been a fun episode, despite the bug. Um, this train network is really shaping up. It's a lot of fun to build and plan and just to see, finally working, finally connecting all of our outposts to each other. We're making encased industrial beams now. We've got all the components we need for heavy modular frames in the next episode. So that's what we'll do. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't. Hit the like button. That helps increase my viewability, my exposure. And I'll see everyone in the next episode.